Sean Huckster here. Welcome down the Mighty Max rabbit hole. Not very long ago, I had 0 Mighty Max sets, and now I have way too many. So the first one I'm going to review is the Escape from Skull Dungeon. That is Mighty Max Escapes from Skull Dungeon. Of course, each package had a cartoon on the back. This is a scan from the internet. And of course, the story is very much, let's just face it, it's very much Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. Max is captured and they want his brain for the Smasher Smasher villain. The evil scientist Dr. Gore is determined to take Max's brain. And that's the story. Let's get into the set. So, the original Polly Pocket sets were fairly simple compacts, and this one appears to be similar in that vein. The simplicity of the shell it's very much kind of like if you were to look at the silhouette, you wouldn't necessarily know that this was much different than a Polly Pocket shell. The designs got much more complicated as they went on. Now, one of the wonderful things about Mighty Max sets, these clamshells, these compacts, is parts of the interior form a decoration or a feature of the exterior, and this is no exception. This is one of the first ones they produced. I'm not sure the order exactly, but let's get right to it. First thing you notice is these large teeth. You've got these bars over one eye and this massive yellow eye in here. The first thing is that the teeth open to form a stairway into the dungeon. Let's open it up. Inside, and there's the stair at the back. Inside you have this Frankenstein's lair, basically. It is, there's no hidden message here. This is definitely Frankenstein in his lair. They just rebranded it. You've got, your green Frankenstein sitting at the table here, lying on the table. The table tilts, which is kind of cool. Let me get him up out of here. He has a spot he can stand here. Of course, with any Mighty Max set, there's usually a place for the villain to stand, but he can be placed anywhere. Your imagination can run wild. The other functional features are this little lever lifts up, and that pulls power or something, but it doesn't do anything really functional, but it's kind of a cool detail. Up in the top, you have a bookshelf that opens up, and it's actually a door to the dungeon. And the dungeon is here. Obviously, somebody's been here before Max and hasn't quite fared so well as Max does, because Max escapes, as we know. Now down here we have this power pillar with an evil eye that collects all the power, and these cables show that the power runs into Smasher to give him life. And these little ones here are probably they're all just kind of energy batteries. Now the fun thing, there's many fun things here, but one of the fun things is the villain, Dr. Gore, has articulated waist so he can bend, and he's definitely, you've got your one eye open. He's very much oh my God, I'm a mad scientist for sure. Let's pop him back in place for a moment. These power pillars don't just stand here. They can come out, and they then can situate at the head of Smasher. Where'd you go? At the head of Smasher. And this is basically their way of powering Smasher. And of course, they've captured Max and placed him in the dungeon up here to, use his brain. Other features, up in the top, you have a roll top desk, and boy, I wish they could have made that roll open. They can't, you couldn't, I guess. A chair, another desk, which is a work desk, here you see like a little beaker there, and there are, of course, lab equipment pieces here and there. Stone walls are rather nicely sculpted, and of course the books and accoutrement here form this lovely dungeon, which has a little skull lock. So that's most of the functional features. One last one I'm going to show, and of course down here you've got, more lab equipment, more lab desks and tables and things for the mad scientist to do his work on. Then Smasher can come out, and of course Smasher also has articulated legs. Not all Mighty Max villains do. A lot of them are just solid creatures, but some do. Like Max himself does not. But anyway, and of course, let's place it down so I can place Smasher on the floor. Smasher can, attack Max or whatever. The last functional feature that I'm aware of in this is the little trapdoor here. And you can see in the cartoon, Max pushes him down the trapdoor. And in here is a little sticker leading down. That's not 3D, that's just flat. But the sticker gives you the illusion that the trapdoor is a way to the basement, and Max, in the comic book, pushes him down into the basement down the trapdoor, and then throws a ball and chain into the eye and destroys all of Dr. Gore's lovely work. That's it for this one. This is, like I say, one of the early ones. The level of detail is a bit on the smaller side. We're going to get into that as we talk about more of the sets later. But let me put this down, pop these back into place. Take this guy, put it here, and put Smasher back on the table. Let's face it, it's Frankenstein's monster. And then the set can close right over the two. Max, of course, I didn't really talk about Max, but Max is just your standard Max. He's a season 1 Max. He looks a little bit more like a kid, and they came randomly packed, so this particular one I have the turquoise hat Max. In later series, Max mostly wore a red hat, sometimes yellow and green, but because the cartoon, he wears a red hat. But for now, I'm using the turquoise Max in here, and that's appropriate to this level. Doors closed. We're going to close this. This snaps shut. Teeth snap shut. And that's it for Mighty Max Escapes from Skull Dungeon. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm not sure which one it's going to be, so I'll be just as surprised as you are. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the Mighty Max Rabbit Hole.